Black that up, all in the club, and bring out your girlfriend.
All right, Coach, we are pleased as always to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Denver Broncos and the Indianapolis Colts. Set to go now in Week 6 of the NFL season, and we are underway on EA Sports. This will be taken in at the 1. Fights him off. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. First carry for Nick Chubb. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
They go with Chubb on 2nd down. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a 1st down. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
So the face mask, quite a blessing there as they'll start out of harm's way with a 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Jackson. Able to shake him off. But he can't get away forever, and down he goes. Ndamukong Suh forcing his way through there to drop him for a loss of a good 10 yards. The start less than ideal as they already face a 2nd and long. Throwing is Jackson. This is caught by Antonio Brown. They get 14 back, but it leads now to a 3rd down.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
On 3rd down, Jackson. And he'll be brought down by the Colts. Ryan Kerrigan coming in to drop him for a loss of 8, and it'll be 4th down. So on 4th down, here's Marquette King to punt it away. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. On the ground, this is Saquon Barkley. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. 15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. First down.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
They keep it with Barkley on first down. And this defense not giving him anything there. Maybe a yard up to the 36.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
They'll wind up with positive yardage. It's a gain of 3, but now it's third down. Third down, Barkley. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. The loss of a yard, and it brings up 4. So add that tackle for a loss to the 2 that he had a week ago.
And you know what he's doing right now?
Smiling?
Yeah, definitely doing that. But he's also patting his guys on the back, his defensive front, because they're keeping him clean, meaning no one's getting to him as a blocker. He's able to run to the football. And the plays he's making, he's spilling them in the offensive backfield.
With it is Brown. Very good return that time. 18 yards. And the Broncos take over. First down and 10. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
That goes for a gain of 31.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play that picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's first and 10 just outside the 30. Ito Smith, his first carry, and he is met. Quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
Detroit! Detroit!
On second down, here's Jackson. They'll set up the screen down to Kamara. And he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. Nothing on the screen that time. Now it's third down. So nothing there on the screen that time.
That means all that great acting they tried on offense went for naught, didn't it? Because you have to try and influence them. Make them think that you're doing something else. Make them think that they can get to the passer by letting them by him and setting up the screen and getting downfield. Didn't happen at all. Give a lot of credit to the defense for not tumbling.
And he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be taken down. Ryan Kerrigan in there to pick up his second sack now of the afternoon. The kick by Carlson is good. And the Broncos, the first to grace the scoreboard. It's 3-zip. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. They'll start out on the ground. It's Saquon Barkley. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
On 2nd down, here's Garoppolo. Flush to his right. That's complete. He's got Barkley out of the backfield. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. 23 yards on the play. Back with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. The Colts in possession of the football to begin quarter number 2. And they've got it here with a first down. Play action. It's Garoppolo. He rifles one that's intercepted. Trey Flowers picks it. And the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line.
Well, they didn't exactly show patience there, did they? Just down a score, they come out firing right away and compound things by throwing an interception. They put their defense in a really tough spot.
After the interception, here's Jackson. And he's going to lose a yard or two. Taken down behind the line. And Ndamukong Suh in there to get him his second sack now of the afternoon. After the sack, here's 2nd and 11. From the gun, Jackson. On the check down, he finds Kamara. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. That one good for 13 and a Denver first down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Play action's supposed to be used to slow down pressure, slow down blitzes. In this case, though, if it takes a little too long to develop, you have people right in your face.
And lucky just to get rid of the ball with the arm going forward. Could have been a fumble. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Jackson now. Going to throw again. Drops this off to Kamara out of the backfield. And he'll get it down to the 47 here. It's an 8-yard pickup, and that'll make it 3rd down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
2nd down pass play got him 8 yards. Now they've got a 3rd and a couple remaining.
No, check, Patriot! Gone!
Again, Jackson. And he's got this down a yard or two shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. A pickup of 5 that time and a first down.
And that's how you pick up a first down. Not only does he make the catch, but has enough body control to get his feet down inbounds, toe-tapping and dragging to make sure he gets it done.
Only a yard on the keeper, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stop that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
And this one's incomplete.
Let's face it, perfection is something we all chase, whether it's playing this game or whatever we do. Hard to attain, but that's what they were searching for as that pass goes incomplete.
To throw on third down, Jackson. And he'll find Shaheen, the tight end. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. His first catch, and it's a pretty big one. They get the conversion on third down. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's Jackson. Going to throw deep for the end zone. And it'll be intercepted. Picked up by Anderson-Dejo. And a great return as they're finally able to take him down. He was looking for Landry that time.
I know some teams are leery about playing cover 2 because a strong safety's not usually a terrific cover guy. But in this case, he played it perfectly. Read the football and went and made the interception.
They begin with a run by Barkley. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able, and this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by Josh Jackson, and his crew will take over at their own 45-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
They begin on the ground with Kamara. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Jackson from the shotgun. And his throw here's incomplete. Kayvon Webster on the defensive side able to get a hand in.
When I watched that play, I thought about what my coaches had told me in the past. The biggest teaching point, get your head around. Locate the football so you can make a play on it while it's in the air. That's exactly what he did there. That was nice.
The Broncos on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 11. Jackson from the gun, he'll throw. Escaping the pressure right. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down. Nigel Bradham with a big-time sack on third down. And it'll be a loss of 7. First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. Here comes the Indianapolis offense now as they get set to take over. Now, they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and it'll be 2nd and 11. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
Hey, gun. Go. 6. 11.
In his own end zone, it's Garoppolo. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And they'll bring him down right around the 13. So a minute 56 to play in this first half. We'll come back to Indianapolis right after this. Garoppolo going to try and throw on third. He dumps it off to Barkley. And he'll be taken down, losing yardage back at the 9-yard line. Now the Broncos are going to take a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Here's Jordan Berry now, as he'll kick it away for the second time. Now Brown. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And it'll be a short field for the Broncos as they take over 1st and 10. Now the Broncos offense, they get set to head back onto the field.
They were forced to punt last time, and I doubt sincerely that they'll have to punt here because they're gifted with terrific field position.
I don't even want to think about the idea that they would end up punting starting with this type of field position. Neither do they. Great starting spot, great opportunity to run your full playbook. If they want to take a shot here, they can go ahead and do it.
You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they...
Looking for Landry, and it's intercepted. Picked off near the 42. And the return this time will go out to the 42-yard line. Landry, the intended target. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
A first down carry for Barkley. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Credit the tackle to Jalen Holmes. Now the Colts moving quickly here in the hurry-up offense. Now Garoppolo. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked up by Obi Melifonwu. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. He has just been a load for opposing offenses to account for. Now 8 interceptions on the year.
I love that number because I always think of center field. You know, when I hear 8, because that's the position you write in the scorecard in baseball. And what do good center fielders do? Take away all the alleys, right? They range deep and make a whole lot of great catches.
And he goes across the 20 to the 22. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Detroit!
Play action. It's Jackson. He'll buy some time right. Now he'll let it go deep. And he's got him in. Complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. Now it looks like we've got a Bronco that's banged up on the play. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. They'll throw on 1st down with Jackson. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back.
Nowhere to turn here. He's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line. The Broncos on 3rd down. 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 8. Now Jackson operating from the gun. He'll rifle this one deep right side. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock. So out comes the field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. From the right hash, this from 53. And this is good. It was running out of gas there at the end, but he winds up getting just enough on it. And that will add 3 more to their lead. It pushes it up to 6. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration, now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
Final play of the first half, barring a penalty, as they come up on 1st and 10. A handoff to Barkley. And he's going to be taken down here as that will lead us to the end of the first half of play. So a couple of field goals, that's all we've been able to muster through 2 quarters of play. 6-0 is our count at the break. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, fielded about a yard deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Out come the Colts. They'll have it first here to start quarter number 3. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. And he'll take this one up close to the 25-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
And he's able to get up here to the 26. They'll give him a yard on the play, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down. On play action, now Garoppolo. And the Broncos get there and take him down. And now following that sack, looks like we've got an injured man down there on the field. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. Here's Jordan Berry now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. So now a look at the Broncos as they head back out there for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
Now, how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion. They go play action here on 1st down. Man open left side is Brown. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 1st down yardage on the first play of the drive. Give him 14.
And there's a man they call AB. Always a volume receiver. He gobbles up catches. Holds a number 2 and number 4 spots for most receptions in a season in NFL history. And
he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. And Ndamukong Suh in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. Now it's Jackson. And he's going to go down again. Robert Quinn in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down. Went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Jackson. He's going to fire one deep, middle of the field. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. The Colts now, their offense works their way back onto the field.
These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
The Colts on third down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 11. Matt Moore, the backup, ready for his first throw. Eluding the pressure right. Now he's going to throw deep right side. And incomplete. He can't hang on. Would have been a nice catch. Instead, it brings up a 4th down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
So a change of possession here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Broncos offense now gets ready to head back onto the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
And a good swarm to the football defensively as they get him down at about the 40. Tackle made there by Zach Brown.
In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin too.
On second down, Jackson. It's complete to Brown, right side. And he'll be taken down, but first he gets deep into Indianapolis territory. A huge play there for Denver, 42 yards. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on first down. Now a first down carry, it's Kamara. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
On second down, Kamara. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. 7 yards on the pickup there, and now they've got it 1st and goal.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
And that is incomplete. He was looking for the tight end, Adam Shaheen, that time. That'll bring up 2nd down.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just 1 target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target in the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him to find him.
And that's going to be incomplete. He was trying to force it into his receiver, Landry, and it's 3rd down.
A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
Jackson, a hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Well, it's been a tough go for him. These guys have been driving down the field, but defensively, once they got their backs to the goal line, turned up the pressure, that's going to lead to a 4th down. Well played.
Carlson able to put this one through. And that will make our score 9-0. So 3 field goals that he's hit now. This last one helps him stretch out the lead.
He's been solid, hasn't he? And he lives up to the adage that every offensive coach has ever said to us. We want to end every possession with a kick, right? For them, it's either extra point, field goal, or at worst, a punt. In this case, it's been 3s.
Here comes the Colts offense now as they make their way onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
They'll try and get this run game going. This is Barkley. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. To throw is Moore. Off the play fake. Rolling to, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Matt Ioannidis forcing his way through there to drop him for a loss of a good 10 yards. Needs something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Here's a give to Barkley. It's a gain of just 3, and the offense likely going to yield to the punting unit here on 4th down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
The Bronco offense now set to come back out onto the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. Now Jackson on 2nd down. Shaheen, the tight end, on the right side. And they'll get him down here at the 23. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Now it's Jackson, able to find Shaheen here. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and you can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Now a pitch out to Kamara. Not much room here as he only gets it to about the 30. The former Charger All-Pro Eric Weddle on the stop. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
Now from Colts territory, here's a 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Here's Jackson. Washington with a catch, middle of the field. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another 1st down.
These guys are running offense like you drive. The pedal is down, stomped down. How about that? Back-to-back completions. They are rolling.
So much for being conservative and running that football. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Throwing on 1st down, it's Jackson. The Colts are going to get him. Down he goes.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
On 2nd down, here's Jackson. Throw left side complete. That's Brown. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. 23 yards on the play. From the red zone now, here's Jackson on 1st down. Pressure up the middle, and down he goes. Ryan Kerrigan in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Jackson. And he hits Herndon over the middle. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
The Broncos on 3rd down. They've converted a third of their opportunities, 3 for 9. This is going to be 3rd and 13. Here's Jackson to throw. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
I think that was a good job there defensively. They did allow him to drive all the way downfield, but once they got their backs to the goal line, they really turned up the pressure.
Yeah, they let him get all the way down here. Now the field shrinks. They've struggled to convert, and that last incompletion brings up 4th. Oh, it's no good. Carlson pushed it to the right, and this score will stay right where it is. Well, he was 3 for 3 to that point, but he couldn't keep the perfect game going.
Did someone mention it on the bench and jinx
Maybe
it?
jinx him a little bit.
Well, you doubt it had anything to do with overconfidence, but hey, it's an inexact science. These things do happen.
Running left, it's Barkley. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. The stop for no gain brings up 2nd and 10 from the 20. They'll run it again with Barkley. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Detroit! 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 Gone! 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 Gone!
More now. Throwing on 3rd and long. Now he's going to send this one deep right side. And the defense loses him. It's complete. And he finally goes down at the 23-yard line. It's a big conversion on 3rd for the Colts. 53 yards. So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. A handoff, Barkley running left. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down.
Brandon, we're into the second half, and this offense has not scored a lot of points, and that was another example of why. I think it's time to open things up and start really trying to move the ball.
Now Moore, letting one go deep for the end zone. And he's unable to grab it. Thought he might have had position, couldn't hold on, 3rd down. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary, they really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Moore. It fights him off. But now he's swallowed up and taken down. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This from 54 yards away. Time for a break. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. That's leaking to the right, and he missed it by a foot or two. It's no good, and this score will stay right where it is. So it's an empty possession, and as a kicker, not the way you want to start your day's work.
And now each team's missed a field goal here so far, Brandon, so apparently neither guy is immune.
Jack, Patriot! Patriot!
Oh, Jackson's going to throw it. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
You got to give some credit there, able to hop up in the air and bat that one away. And that's frustrating for an offensive lineman because the only recourse is when he goes in the air to try and get some type of a pop or a shove, hoping to bring his arms down.
Jackson to throw. And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield. Cameron Wake in there to get him for what will be a loss of 13 yards. The Broncos on 3rd down. They're hitting at just 30%, 3 for 10. This will be 3rd and a mile.
Set! 319! 319! Detroit! Detroit!
Throwing now is Jackson. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Robert Quinn. The Colts going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's Marquette King now. He's been terrific so far. And he'll take it just outside the 40. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Colts are set up well as they take over 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. It's in the 4th quarter down in Miami. The Dolphins, they have extended their lead in that one. If they hold on, a victory there would be their 3rd of the year. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down.
Lucky 56!
Here's Moore on 1st down. Looking left side, it's complete. He's got it. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. Give him 9 there on the 1st down completion.
Seeing that play and understanding just how tough it is to cover tight ends, especially the ones running around the NFL nowadays, makes me glad I didn't make it in that league. I would have had a really difficult time.
But now you get to sit up here with me.
Yeah, and that's fun, isn't it? And what a really nice gain right there on 1st down for them. Brings up a nice 2nd down for them.
To Barkley on the check down. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up 4th down.
Detroit! Detroit! Gone! 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 Gone!
Gotta try it here. He's back to throw. He's gonna let it fly. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Josh Jackson. And that will write a finish to this ball game. The storyline of this one, Charles, no doubt the number 0. Zilch, nada. A shutout so hard to do in the NFL.
It really is, and what an accomplishment, because you feel that not just on the defensive side, but as a full team. There's a lot of pride that goes into shutting out an opponent. And how about that 0 on the scoreboard for them, going along with those zeros in the time column, too.
So for Denver, they improved to 5-0 now on the young season. And they'll get another road date next week as their opponents will be the Minnesota Vikings. Meanwhile, for Indianapolis, they dropped below 500 to 2-3 with a loss. And they'll be back home next week as they're set to take on the Carolina Panthers. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, we thank our entire crew. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
Somebody call for the queen.
They call it for me.